Wisconsin voters headed to the polls for the high-stakes state Supreme Court race between Democrat-backed Judge Susan Crawford and Judge Brad Schimmel, who was joined on the campaign trail by the world's richest man, Elon Musk. Here's what Judge Crawford said in her victory speech.
Today, Wisconsinites fended off an unprecedented attack on our democracy. That's right. Our fair elections and our Supreme Court. And Wisconsins stood up and said loudly that justice does not have a price. Our courts are not for sale.
So Elon Musk threw millions of dollars into the race. And here's what he said was at stake. Watch.
Whichever party controls the House, it to a significant degree controls the country, which then steers the course of Western civilization. So it's like, I feel like this is one of those things that may not seem that it's going to affect the entire destiny of humanity, but I think it will.
So, do you agree with him that this race will have that kind of far-reaching implications?
It could be, but you really know when inflation's out of control and you can't buy an election for $20 million. But I'm not sure that what he said is really that far-reaching. It might have been hyperbole, what he's saying, but it certainly is going to get these Republicans into their little something in a twist.
Well, and this was
because it's a little bit what it's saying to me. Just one point. What it's saying to me is that Americans have had it. Yeah. I mean, in that red state of Florida, which I'm sure you'll bring up, it was a very close race in a certain way compared to what happened last time. So Americans have had it. People are watching and listening, and they're seeing their rights are being eroded, their money's being taken away from them, they're threatening their Social Security, they're firing people en masse. People are catching on to what this regime is doing.
Yeah.
That's all.
And I'm not sure of the existential consequences of this, but what I think we can all say now is this was absolutely a repudiation of Donald Trump and Elon Musk.
Yeah.
Because Elon Musk was not voted in when people voted for Donald Trump. And yet they got him anyway. It was like a 2-for-1 deal nobody asked for. And so this, to me, was something where Elon Musk put his name and face, so did Donald Trump, all over this. And I think that sent people to the poll in spades. The history setting here was huge. 7 polling sites ran out of ballots, or were nearly out because they weren't expecting that many voters. 3 million voters participated, 40% increase in advance voting, breaking the record set in 2023, exceeded 52% turnout at these polls. And this was actually across the spectrum, which speaks to the divide we're in. It was not one group over the other, but it's also a reminder when people decide to protest vote, that not showing up, you might get something worse than you thought.
Good, right.
So I've been talking about this race for weeks, and I've been saying that if Democrats want to fight, don't shut down the government, engage in this race. And what Democrats did is they raised a lot of money. They actually spent more on the airwaves than Republicans did in this race, something like $40 million. They organized. They actually have a really good party chair in Wisconsin.
Oh, no, what do you mean? They spent more money than Musk?
They spent more on the airwaves. But he was the largest individual donor. Yeah. Democrats actually raised more money altogether. But the point being, they organized and they showed that they could win here. That is what they should be focusing on. And what Elon Musk did is he may have actually motivated people against voting with the Republican. Yeah. I've been in Wisconsin a bunch with candidates. This is the swingiest of swing states. They were the closest state in this last election, and they take that really seriously. They take their civic engagement very seriously. If you come in days before, slap on like a cheesehead hat, and say like, I'm gonna buy this election, they don't like that. And I think that there could be some implications here. I've been saying I don't think the Trump-Elon Musk relationship is going to last long. This could get in the way. He likes winning. He likes having a clean record of people he's endorsed. And this shows that Elon Musk just doesn't get it when it comes to politics.
Don't you think Trump enjoys the fact that Elon is even more disliked than he is?
Yeah. Well, and it does give him a foil and someone to point to. But I do want to mention Florida. Florida was slightly significant. I don't think it's nearly as, and here's why. The race was much closer than the margins in the presidential election. Donald Trump won by 30 points. This Republican won by about 10. But that's on par for midterm elections. You don't have Trump at the top of the ticket bringing more voters out. But what it does signal is Republicans have a lot of work to do before the midterms, and they're very likely nervous about losing the House after last night's results.
Yeah, I think that's right. To your original question, Whoopi, about does it matter what's happening on a local level with the courts? I think it absolutely, sort of. I think it really does matter because what we're seeing is the fight is in the courts, right? Because we have these three co-equal branches of government, and the executive branch and Donald Trump and Elon Musk, they are really trying to take over the functional system of the judicial branch.
Right.
They really are. And so that Michigan win on the Supreme Court for me was extremely important. Wisconsin was extremely important because it's a swing state, as Alyssa said, and also because if you want to vote to suppress the vote, if you want to mess around with gerrymandering, that's something that's going to go right through that court. And so when you talk about the election and the midterms, that court may be deciding something pretty crucial. So I think that's an important thing. What's also important, as to Alyssa's point, is the notion of organization. Yeah. The Green Roots organization that was going on in Wisconsin was really significant. 667,000 people had already cast
the
grassroots. I'm sorry,
yeah.
And the ground game, just the ground game. People on the ground. 667,000 votes had already been cast before Election Day. That is a significant turnout, a much more significant turnout than even in 2023 during that election.
Matter.
So I would say that it's a referendum on Trump. It's definitely a referendum on Musk. He has lost more money in Tesla stock than you can imagine. It's down like 13%.
He bought his company back.
Yeah, he bought his company back. But I do think that Americans are saying, Mr. Musk, you don't get to come in here and buy our courts and buy our elections and buy power. You don't get to do that.
Well, let's not forget that I don't know who it was. It might have been you, Alyssa. I don't know. I'm here, but I don't always remember. There are a lot of people surrounding both these men who are also culpable.
Yes.
Okay, so keep in mind when these elections come up, who you're voting for. And the reason this is happening is because everybody said, okay, we're going to sit back and see. We're not going to jump to the conclusion that this is going to go to hell in a handbasket. Now, while it went to hell in a handbasket twice, and came back and has gone its way to hell again, people said, okay, enough. Yeah. You're firing federal workers and you're not telling me why. Yeah. You're not showing me. You might have said, I'm going to clean the swamp, but you're not telling me how you're cleaning it. You're just going in and you're grabbing stuff. You got 4-year-olds running around who are making decisions in places where they have no understanding how things work. They have no understanding how each of these divisions work. So people, I think, got really annoyed because people work hard to learn their jobs.
Yeah.
People go to school, spend money to learn how to do stuff, and here you come in and just smashing them gone. People don't like it when you fire vets. Yeah. They don't like it when you fire vets. They don't like it when you come around and you say, listen, hey, all you people, I know that you have a history, but we're not interested in it, and we're going to wipe it out. Nobody wants to see their history wiped out, and I also believe people don't want to see other people's history wiped out, because a country that can't cop to its mistakes can never learn from them. Yep. We are a country that we fight about lots of stuff, but we try to fight forward and make it better. They don't want to see us going back. And thank you, America, for in all of these places where people voted. Thank you for coming out and voted. And as you see, it does mean something. Yep. Voting matters.